video is going to be a little bit different. Of course, it's not a thrifting video, which I know y'all love, but it is going to be basically a relationship, marriage type video, kind of just giving some advice and just telling our experience as far as marriage is concerned. So if you guys would like to watch this video, stay tuned. We do not have any notes. And by the way, I do want to introduce my husband. This is my husband, Jermaine.
Yes.
And we have been together for about 16, altogether 19 years.
Yes.
But 1987. But we've been married 16 years. So it's about, we've been married about 16 years, and we just kind of want to tell you guys like an updated version. We kind of did something like this before, but we want to do more so of an updated version of how we kind of, you know.
Yeah. If you really want to know more, just go back, or you want to know a little bit more about our beginning, go to the husband tag.
Well, this is more of an updated version, and it's not a husband tag. This is just a video kind of talking about our relationship, and everything in our marriage, and how you can make a marriage work, and marriage can work. I mean, even through the hard times. Yes. And this is my husband Jermaine, and he also has a channel, and it is
Miracles in Unity.
Why? Okay.
I preach the word of God, so if you feel like you want to be inspired to make life changes, then please come over to my channel, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you think, and I'd be more than happy to help you. So
we are just going to freestyle here. I didn't take notes. I didn't feel like it.
Yeah, but I think the people should know, like, you know, we've been together for a very long time. And what's your age?
I am 34.
And I am 37.
Yes.
I might not believe it, but yes, I'm 37 years old.
I met him when I was 15.
And I was 18 years old.
Yeah, so.
And, oh my gosh.
So, yeah, we met at the movies. It was kind of like it was a weird story behind that, because I was going with a girl that I was hanging with at the time, but at that time I had kind of changed my mind on even going to the movies. I kind of was like, I'm just gonna stay in the house, but she was adamant, excuse me y'all, and going, and she wanted to go. Sorry, I keep burping, y'all. I have an issue going on with my throat, so sometimes I just burp randomly, so sorry. But she wanted to go to the movies, and so I decided to go, and that's where I met him. I didn't see him, the front of him. I just saw the back of him. He had on like a fedora type hat. Y'all know, y'all seen my hat wall. I love fedoras. So, you know, I seen like one of these type hats on his head, and he kind of was turned the opposite way of me. I couldn't see his face. And the guy that just happened to be at the table with me and the girl I was hanging with at the time knew him. Yep. And she said, I know him. That's Jermaine. I'm going to go over there and tell him you like him. This dude went over there and got him and brought him over to the table, and then that's when me and him kind of started talking. But he can give you what he thinks as far as like,
it was history from there, you know. And it's kind of funny because both of us the same night, and both of us didn't really want to go anywhere, but if it had not been for our friends coming over and pushing us out the house, we would have never met each other. And so here we are years later, you know, going long and strong.
Yes, and it's been long and strong. Yeah, but in this video, we're gonna be completely honest with y'all about marriage. I'm not gonna front. People want to get on here and try to cover up things and stuff like that. No, not here.
Well, what's something you think we should be honest about in marriage?
I do say,
especially for the younger people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you are really young, I say around 18, really think about if it's really what you want to do. Right. Don't just because you love him in that moment, don't just jump in something. You you need to actually make sure that this is what you want. So y'all, sorry for the different quality. My card is full on my camera, so we had to switch to the iPhone until we're able to get some more SD cards. they go pretty quick, so yeah. If the quality looks different, sorry about that. Just
that's all right. As long as y'all can hear us and see us, that's all that matters.
You get the advice.
We keep having quality issues, so because of this phone.
We keep having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Our Canon Mark 7X or whatever. I don't know the name of this.
You really need to know you know, if that person is the one. Sometimes you don't even really know, even when you think you may know, as far as like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's very shaky.
Let me give y'all something. Let me give you some advice. Like, if you meet somebody and they are like dressing up a certain kind of way that you like, deep down in their core, they could be somebody else. Because, you know, we live in a generation where, you know, a lot of people get caught up into peer pressure. So they may be trying to conform to some image that they've seen on TV or something, and they go out the house looking like this, but this is not them being true to their core. So you might, as a female, you might see this person and think this is who this person is based on the way they dress. And then you might get committed to into a relationship with somebody that is a total different person. And like if you got a guy and he's dressing like, you know, the way you want him to dress, the way that appeals to you, you might find out that he's into like skateboarding.
I mean, you might find out he's into stuff that you really are not into.
Yeah.
He put on a cover to kind of.
And females do it too, because a lot of females, you know, everybody gets caught up in that. You know, we put on like fronts, you know, to some degree, and then, you know, when we get together, we realize, oh, especially when you get married, you realize, because most people, once they get married, they begin to want to settle down. So what you got with when you first got them is a total different person than who it'll be when you marry them.
Yeah. So, like I said, you really need to consider all the costs, you know. Well, I'm not saying don't get married. If you want to get married. But I'm just saying you need to consider everything before you make that decision. Because when you do make that decision and you get into it, it's work. Mm-hmm. And we know, because we got married very young. I will say I probably wouldn't have got married so young. I was only 18.
Neither would I. But we love each other.
Yeah, we love each other. But
we honest enough to say that, you know, if we could have done it again,
we would have waited.
Yeah.
We definitely would have waited.
There were several times, but we had a lot of breakups because, number one, I wasn't ever really sure. I felt like, you know, and then, you know, I had issues, you know, well, I don't want to get into all of that, but I just was never really sure if maybe she was the one, or if I should wait, or if I should be trying to get myself together. But, you know, I learned later on in life, if I had just, you know, waited and got me together first, found out who I was together, it wouldn't have brought so much confusion into our marriage. Mm-hmm. Because I believe
you definitely know who you are before you get married. That's why I said getting married young, it may not. You know, because if you don't know who you are and you get married,
you'll be in your
marriage trying to find yourself.
Out,
and you realize that this ain't what I kind of was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. Like I said, don't ever just jump into anything. That goes back to that. Don't ever just jump in.
No.
Because you need to really know that.
Now,
Now,
we believe, you know, the Bible says that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And it is a blessing, you know, when you have a wife in the midst of this world where everybody's cheating on one another and sleeping with everybody. Not everybody, but let me not say it that way. But
not everybody.
You see what's out there. Most of y'all know what's out there. You know what I'm saying? So, especially in 2021 anyway. So, you know, it's good to find a wife. But if you're going to find a wife, if you're going to get married to your husband, make sure, like she said earlier, this is somebody that you know you want to be with, and you can see yourself, number one, in your marriage vows, which a lot of people are not truly committed to. It says for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health. And I'm telling you, go ahead.
Because I do want to say, getting into us a little bit too throughout this, you know, conversation. When we first, not when we first got married, we were together for probably about 5 or 6 years. Within that time frame, I started to have epilepsy, where I was having seizures frequently, and they were not like close together, but like I had one, and then like a few months later I would have another one. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, and he didn't know what was going on. It was kind of like a shock to him, like, oh Lord, see, that's why you need to know everything.
You need to know what
you're
getting
not saying
into.
that people are not gonna get sick and you shouldn't be there when they get sick, but we were young, so you know what I'm saying. You would think even at his age that he would just be like, I don't have time for this.
Which most guys and females do this. You hear about married people getting it, or people that are married. They're together for a little while after the honeymoon, and then the wife or the husband will get sick. Next thing you know, the person that's not sick will discover that they are not as patient as they thought they were.
Yeah.
And so they leave the marriage, and now you got somebody over here that is sick. And, you know, one thing I always say, which is kind of good, because sickness and loss of finances reveal your true and false relationships. So you find out really who you have in your circle when you get sick or when you ain't got no money.
Because I know even for us, like I said, when I was dealing with the epilepsy, that was I feel like that was a test to see whether we were going to be together or not, because that's a lot to deal with. If you have never seen somebody actually have one, you will never understand it. But if you know and you've actually seen somebody have one, you know what it can do. You know, some people don't even come back out of them normally. You know, so you know what I'm saying, the person is having to take on that responsibility, that's a lot. And at a young age, you know, I thank God I did come back to my right mind, everything, you know, every time, everything like that. But like I said, it's just, you just need to make sure you know what's going on with that person. Because like I said, for the sake of deciding what you can deal with and what you can't deal with, and what you want to deal with and what you don't want to deal with.
But let me say this. I think also for both the male and the female, you know, if you have a sick partner, number one, I commend you. I think I say that it's awesome that you decided to stay, because, you know, God's going to bless you. You know, we reap what we sow, more than we sow, and later than we sow, you know, especially if we've done the good things. And but this is what I want to say. You know, if you're going to get married to somebody that has disabilities, you know, some type of ailments, you got to make up in your mind that I'm willing to deal with the hospital bills. I'm willing to go back and forth to the hospital, because I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff is easy to say I do at the altar before a bunch of people. Yeah. That's the easy part. It's easy to walk down the aisle. It's easy to eat the cake and dance in front of everybody. But you have to live after the wedding. Yeah, there's life after the marriage. Definitely life after. I mean, there's life after the wedding.
Yeah, there's life after the wedding, and after the wedding is the test.
Yes.
Because that's when you're gonna get tested. As soon as you get from that honeymoon and you get in that house, it's gonna be test after test after test. And if you pass it, that's good. But sometimes people don't pass those tests, and they last a few months or maybe even a few years, and they end up getting a divorce because they realize that, dang, you know. And even when you hear people that talk about divorce and getting a divorce, they always somehow go back to their wedding day. Man, we had a beautiful wedding. That's because you got caught up on that day. You cannot get caught up on that day. That's one day out of your entire marriage that you got to physically be with this person. That one day was fun, and y'all had fun, y'all had a good time. But now it's time to actually live with each other and get to know each other and actually see what y'all are all about. We did not have a wedding.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
say. We actually just went and
to the courthouse.
I'm sorry, y'all thought it was something on my ceiling, but we went to the courthouse because I really don't believe in like huge weddings. I mean, not saying that I wouldn't probably ever have one. We've been together so long now.
Vows,
we've been together so long now. But at the beginning, I really was not worried about any of that, because I felt like I've seen it so many times where people have had this huge wedding, then they having marriage problems, and they only been together about 2 minutes. Like, so
let me say something too. I think one of the mistakes I made, and I don't want nobody else to make this mistake, especially all the guys out there, if you're listening to this video, is, you know, don't be getting married because your boys are married or they're in relationships with girls and they having sex and all this, they're having sex and things like that, and you want to feel like you missing out on something. You know, actually, you know, just be yourself, you know, and at the right time, God will bring things together for you. But rushing into marriage because of sex and stuff like that, see, that's an immature mindset.
But I also, that's a good point, but I also want to say, do not allow people into your marriage. If you make the decision to get married, don't let people into your marriage. Because as soon as you let people into your marriage, that's when you're going to have so many issues. The big mistake in our marriage that we made, well, I didn't make, but my husband made, and, you know, I'll let him speak on that.
Well, you know, what I've learned in this many years of marriage is that, you know, when you are with somebody, before all of the outside influence comes into your heart. You see your spouse as perfect. You don't see nothing wrong with her or him, and you are totally okay with them. Even if they mess up, you are willing to accept their flaws. But when you get outside influence, I mean family, I mean friends, people on your job, you should never be on your job talking about the people in your, your close, your marriage. It's not a good thing. And I've made that mistake. We've all made these mistakes. But here's the thing, when you start doing that, it's like you start seeing your loved one, your spouse in a different light. And so you start to become judgmental and prideful, like, they need you and you don't need them. Yeah. And that is when your marriage is on its road to a great fall. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a puffed up and proud, spirit before a fall. And
keep people out your marriage.
Yeah, you need to.
Point. Keep family members.
You love your family.
Fathers,
and
mothers,
Hold on. Let
sisters,
me say this.
brothers.
You love your family and
uncles,
everything, but what'll happen is your family loves you, and they might not even be meaning to be like evil or just just diabolical in their ways or whatever. But see, sometimes people can love you so much they can be telling you, leave him, leave her, get away from just trying to protect you because you are their relative, but they don't realize that might not be the best thing for you.
Yeah.
Because you'll end up resenting your people if, you end up leaving the person that you love by listening to them, and then they run off with somebody else, and you have to watch them on Facebook, on social media. You got to hear about them doing good without you.
Yeah, that's just leave people out of your marriage.
Right.
That's what that sums it up to be. Don't allow nobody into your marriage. It's going to destroy your marriage.
Right.
It really is.
So something I want to talk about too is like one of the things I learned, and we are good for this, we do not bring what we learned from what we saw into our marriage.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do want to speak on that too. What we learned and saw in our parents' relationships, we do not drag that into our relationships. Because that stuff is, especially if they didn't last, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to be funny, but especially if they didn't last.
Yeah.
If you didn't last, there's not really much you can really tell me. And the reason why I say that is because you couldn't even fight. If I can explain all the stuff that we actually have gone through so far in this marriage alone, health situations, financial situations, almost being homeless situations, it has been a ride. Okay, it has been a ride. Okay, it's almost draining. Like, I know even now, like, I come to you guys today, talking to you guys, but I don't feel 100% even today, but I'm still trying to just fight. You have to keep fighting. I'm not talking about as far as I'm talking about as far as the way I feel in my body. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you have to fight somewhere. If I'm going to fight for my health, I'm going to fight for my marriage. So if you're going to fight for everything else in your life, if you're going to fight to succeed, you're going to fight to be great, fight for your marriage. Mm-hmm. Because that's the problem. Like they said, we always want to talk about black love. But see, that's the thing. We get caught up. What is white love, black love? It's all kinds of love. It's black and white love. But the thing is you need to fight for that black love, that white and black love, that white love. You need to fight for that love.
Whatever kind of love
you got, fight for it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is we get so caught up in thinking that we're going to go to the next person. The next person going to bring some magical feeling to us, and you come to realize that that's not the case. The person that you're with is the person you should be trying to get that magical feeling with, even though it gets hard.
How many times have we seen people get out of their marriage, get out of good relationship just because times got hard, just because they had a disagreement? Like, we don't have disagreements.
We have disagreements,
you know
all
what
the
I'm saying?
time.
And they get into a relationship with somebody
had one
else.
before this video got going, because I asked him to fix the bed. And, you know what I'm saying? So, while I was getting ready to do this video, like, preparing myself, and he, with the attitude. So,
it wasn't no attitude.
Yeah, it was an attitude.
I was just, I'm the kind of person, I feel like this is her channel, so,
no, don't even
she
go
need to
there.
set up everything, because don't nobody set up my channel.
My channel is a lifestyle, beauty and makeup channel. No, fashion channel.
Right, well.
And lifestyle means that if I vlog, if I do videos like this, that's bringing you, Mila, into my videos. That's my lifestyle.
I know.
So, like I said, if I
around.
just asked you to like make the bed while I try to get myself together, then it should be no problem with that.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
It's no problem. You know, a lot of times we're supposed to do everything without murmuring and complaining, and then we're supposed to do everything heartily as we doing it unto our Creator. And you know, we're supposed to look at each other as if they are Jesus Christ Himself. So that's what I do. That's how I get through. You know, because I look at it like if I'm gonna honor my wife. I'm going to honor Jesus through my wife, so I'm going to put my best foot forward. Yeah. And, you know, even though I probably didn't want to do it, I did it anyway.
And see, and two, one thing that we learned too, we're pretty private in our marriage, but we're not private to the point where we are going to come on and not be honest. Mm-hmm. You know, if something's going on, if we feel like we should discuss it, we will. Like I said, as far as our marriage or us, you know, things like that. Because like I said, I think a lot of times people get caught up in that phony relationship that we're great, you know, and it's like that's not real. It's not. If we've been together 19 years.
It is not real. It's
not saying that we aren't happy people, because we are. If you are with him on a regular basis, he always happy. Even when I'm like, he unrealistically happy.
There have been
so
times,
it's like, you know what I'm saying. It's not unreal, but it's like he just always happy.
Let me say this.
I'm not always happy.
There have been times where I can honestly say that I have not liked my wife. Yeah. I have not liked her. I love her, you know what I'm saying? But like she can just make me so angry sometimes, you know. And then sometimes, you know, it's just my personal emotions. You know, your emotions change from day to day, so we got to get a handle on our emotions. Standing beside a thermostat in your house, looking out the window, waiting for the sun to come out for it to get warm in your house is pointless as waiting for the feeling of love to come into your marriage. See, a lot of people, they're still waiting on that feeling they had when they first got together. But see, love is a choice. So like the person that stands beside the thermostat, they've got the power to turn it, you know, up or down to allow it to get warm in their house. You don't have to wait on the sun when you've got the power right there to you know, turn on the nozzle, you know, excuse me, to turn it up or down to get it warm in your house. So likewise, you know, in love, you have to choose to love your spouse every day. Waiting on that feeling that you had when y'all first got together back in 96
y'all
and
were
20.
Young then. You change. We want to get to a more mature love, not a puppy love. Yeah. You know, we got that kind of love now. Yeah, back then we all got to admit that it was more so of a puppy love. Yep. And when you get mature and older and you start living life, you realize that, okay, that was puppy and this is definitely grown. Because like you can feel the difference. Like I said, I'm telling you can. Like I said, in this marriage, I mean, the struggles, you know, have come a lot, you know, from, like I said, when it comes to financial, you know, that has been a thing where most couples would just be like, I'm done. Yep. I'm done. I see you. Peace out. I'm going over to so and so I can receive everything that I want. And
but what about the richer of a poorer part?
Yeah. So, and then not only that, then when we get to the children, you know, it took us years to have children. You know, I didn't even feel like a woman at one point because it took so long for me to get pregnant. I was like, dang.
She didn't get pregnant until 2018. Yeah. And we have been
together
trying
19 years.
Yeah, ever since 2005, I want to say. Yeah. But you know, we were together in 2001. We were together too.
In 2000, we were together in 2001. Yeah. And even then, it could have happened then, but it never did. So it was like, it was just crazy. And I never really took it serious until like a few years into the marriage. Like, you know, why aren't we like having kids? She even
struggled with PCOS. What does that stand for?
Polycystic ovary syndrome.
Epilepsy.
That's what I had dealt with. Yeah. And the list of what I have gone through as far as health has been very stretched out. I mean, I think I've told you guys, you know, a few times about what I've actually gone through as far as health. Like I said, right now I'm not feeling my best, but I want to come to you guys to, you know, let you guys know that, you know, if you're thinking about getting married or if you're going to get married one day, to what to consider and what to think about when you're going into a marriage, and not just to jump into something just because somebody's asked you, will you marry me? Make sure that's exactly what you want before you actually walk down the aisle or go downtown or wherever you live or
Yeah.
whatever you got to do to get the license.
Because number one, you are marrying not just that person, but you're marrying into the family.
Yes,
you're married.
And like I said, that's important too. I know people like they ain't part of this marriage. They not part of that marriage, but you definitely have to be around them.
Because you're gonna want your family to support when you have children, when you move. All these different events that you have.
So make sure that the family, make sure there is some kind of respect and love somewhere in there.
Now ask yourself the question right now: if you're thinking about being married, getting married to someone, can I deal with this person's family for the rest of my life from this day forward? Am I really willing to deal with so and so's uncle?
You better make sure,
or so and so's sister or brother. Am I really willing to deal with that?
The test with that will come too.
It will.
It will come, and it also not just tested it's not just a test for you; it's a test for the spouse too, the other person, because it's their family. So, or it's their family, so they have to, go between both. If things ain't great, then it's like you have to. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is that's another subject, and I'm gonna leave that alone because we're gonna let that be. But like I said, marriage can work if you want it to work, but most of the time, like I said, we get caught up in thinking that there's something else out there when we clearly already know. And if you are a grown adult, you know that the grass is never greener on the other side.
I mean,
if you are a grown adult,
you know
that
affairs are seductive. Like affairs, like if you do leave your marriage for somebody else, it might be good for 2 or 3 years, but it's always something to it. There's always some type of consequence that it would have been better for you had to worked it out with your own spouse than had went to somebody else, because
I've seen it happen so many times.
Yeah, when you get with somebody else, you got to learn that person all over again. You don't know everything there is to, and like my grandfather used to always say, no matter how much you think you know a person, you'll never know that person. And so it's better to just remain where you are and allow the help of God to come in and help transform it.
Stop looking through that. Stop looking through that grass. Stop looking, for the grass to be green on the other side. Because I think that's the trick right there. That's the trick. Like, I think people get caught up on that and they end up jumping out of something. And that's why people, like I said, I'm not knocking anybody that's been married, that's been married a few times. That's your prerogative. Maybe you was getting abused. Now, if you getting beat up or stuff like that, look, leave.
Yeah, we would never be okay with somebody beating you up, and
you need to go
verbally abusing you and stuff like that.
You need to go ahead and tell him bye, tell her bye. Yeah, because that ain't
worth
work.
It. No, I don't think God brought the institution of marriage together for you to be getting.
That was never meant. If you were getting beat on and stuff like that, it was never meant.
Yeah, no,
never. No. That was just, it was just something where you kind of just thought that you can maybe fix it, and you realize when you got into it that I'm not gonna be able to fix it.
On that note, don't get with somebody based on physical appearances only. Look into the heart of the person. What kind of character do they have? What kind of what do they know? What do they talk about? What do they think about? What do they like? What are their interests? Find out the core. It's all about the core. Because you can have a female that looks awesome, but she could have absolutely no standards. She could be trying to sleep around with it ain't just about sleeping. She could be like a crook, she could be like into like stealing money or something like that. You don't want no woman like that. Somebody got to be bailing out of jail or always incarcerated.
And ain't no marriage,
that's a hard life.
But ain't no marriage perfect either, though.
Yeah,
I do want to say that
but we're talking about people that's thinking about getting married. They need to look into. They need to do their research.
Do your research too. But like I said, there is no perfect marriage too.
No, it ain't.
Like I said, you're gonna have the issues of life. Like I said, you're going to experience the issues of life.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, like for me, I came into my marriage, I had an issue with pornography, and the issue with pornography is it makes you want. It makes you want to make your wife or your spouse to do what the people on the films do, and that's kind of messed up, because now here you said that you wanted to marry this person, and you knew what kind of person and what they do and all of that, and it's unfair to your spouse to have to conform to some image or some video that is really a fantasy and it's not real in the first place. And you cheat your spouse, and you make them, you actually send a strong message that they are not accepted by you. And see, that right in and of itself is a problem already, you know, because nobody want to feel rejected by their own spouse.
Yeah.
So, you know, issues like that, know what the person, am I willing to deal with this person's porn addiction? Am I willing to deal with this person's alcohol addiction? Because everybody got a hang up. So, am I willing to deal with their shopping addiction? Am I willing to, am I willing to deal?
I love to shop.
You know, am I willing to deal with these things?
The thing is I'm trying to, I think I shop more so because I think I kind of...
She's trying to get to a happy place.
When I go through stuff and I have a hard time, like when I struggle and, you know, get down, shopping is therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go shopping, it takes my mind off of completely everything. If you guys see all the clothes and shoes that I have, I did do a big purge like a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago. I had about 10 bags of clothes that I actually gave to the Goodwill, because when I get down and I'm down, when I go through, I go shopping. That's just what I do. I don't know what it is. It's just...
When I get down and I go through, I go to sleep.
Yeah, he goes to sleep and I go shopping. Because, I mean, like I said, the thing is I just don't agree with that, because in a marriage, you really need to try to find a way to not end up with no money. And, you know, like I said, because shopping all the time is good to a certain degree if you have the money. But if you don't have the money, you should not be out there shopping every day. Mm-hmm. And that's real. Like, you should not be shopping every day. You should not be trying to find
don't
ways
cripple
to
your
shop.
own home.
Don't cripple your own
pluck up your
relationship.
Own home. Yeah, that's
like,
not wise.
Do not do that. If you can't afford to shop, don't shop. Find another outlet. If you can talk to a counselor, or if you can, like, maybe write it down in a journal, whatever's going on, write it down, try to clear your head, and then come forth. You know, that way you can not go and waste money that you really don't even have in the first place. And like I said, if you do have and you can afford to do that, have fun, but still be careful, because you can still end up broke with money.
That's
so
right. And
it's like,
that's another thing. When in your marriage, there'll be times where you'll get your big break, but you got to be able to recognize that moment, because a lot of times that may be the last time in a while that you'll get another break. So, like, especially with finances, in the area of finance. So, you know, be wise, because we have seen a lot of people get their big break. I mean, we even talk about people that ain't even married. And so, when you get your big break, especially in the area of finances, seize the moment. Put stuff back. Yeah. Don't think don't just live for the now. And I always say, never live from what you're going through, but live for where you're going to. Yeah. You know, put something back. Invest. You know, because especially if you have children, because we want to invest in our children's future so that they can have something. We don't want them to go
through what we went through.
No.
The struggle was very real.
Oh,
and
Lord.
If you don't want that for your child, you have to do something different now for y'all to get that for your child. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are kind of doing, just stepping out, doing something different. You know, I mean, we both, you know, have done YouTube and stuff like that. We've been doing YouTube since 2016, but we actually stopped. I stopped for 2 years. He stopped for a year.
Lesson learned. It's not good to be inconsistent.
It's not good.
You need to be consistent. You need to be persistent. You need to be determined. You need to be eager to keep doing what you got to do.
Even right now, like, if you want something, like, you gotta go get it, because I don't, like I said, I'm coming to you guys now making this video because I love doing YouTube. I love to kind of, you know, just come to you guys, letting you guys know a little bit about me, and, you know, and my husband and stuff like that, and just what I love to do and what I like to do and stuff like that. And I enjoy doing YouTube. Like I said, it's just a good outlet. It's a good, you know, like, I don't know, it's like you don't have to reveal everything, but you just, you know, just show people what you can do, what you love to do, and, you know, get your mind off of everything that you're going through. It kind of, it's like I want to say it's like a purge of it's a form of purging, but you don't have to release everything. So this, for me, is really therapeutic. And, you know, he has this channel, so, and we kind of do this, you know, we kind of enjoy just, you know, doing YouTube videos. So, like I said, and like I said, we want better, we want more. So this is a little different, especially for where we live at. You know,
Right.
to be
Oh,
honest,
gosh.
where we live at. I mean, this right, what we doing on YouTube? It's like we've had so many people like, "What are y'all doing? What is that? What I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry you don't understand. I don't have time to explain it to you.
I know that's right.
If you have never heard of YouTube in your life, that is gonna have to be
Shame
your problem.
on you.
Like I said, and if you have not seen what can be made on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's your problem. It's definitely not gonna be mine.
Back to getting about the marriage thing.
So,
if I could give any real advice, well, all of it's real. I don't know why I said that, but if I could give advice, work together. Yeah. Marriage does not work when you are not working together.
I do agree.
If I'm gonna give you an example, if like you got two legs, now you were created for your legs to go, forward the way when you walk. Now if your right leg is going forward and your back leg is going backwards, you're gonna split in two. If your natural body splits into, from going the opposite direction to one another, what do you think?
And that's on period.
What do you think will happen to your marriage if you decide to go if you pull against one another, or push against one another, whichever way that makes sense.
I get it, but yeah. Don't tear each other apart, basically.
No, don't do that. My wife used to always say in the beginning of our marriage that marriage is work. It takes work. And I'd be like, no.
People will argue about that. Marriage is work.
It is.
If you are in a marriage and you think it's not work, honey, you must ain't been married but about 5 minutes. Okay? Marriage is work. You have to consistently put the work in your relationship. Mm-hmm. That is called work. Yeah. So if you think otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who told you different. I don't know what you're learning, but marriage is work.
Yeah, the key to marriage, when we talk about working together, the main word I hear is sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. It's one big sacrifice. Yeah. You got to put yourself out and sacrifice what you want for what she wants, and she has to put herself out every day. Consciously, she has to make a choice to put herself out to sacrifice for what I want. And that's how marriage works.
Yeah, that's how marriage works. Like I said, it can work if you want it to work. This video is getting a little long.
Yes, it is.
So,
My
like
goodness.
I said, we're going to have to end it here. But like I said, if you guys...
do some chopping.
If you guys like this video, we'll do another part, maybe talking about something else, But we'll see, like I said. But this is just us talking about marriage.
Yes.
I can talk about other things too. Like I said, don't claim to be the wisest person, but when it comes to being knowledgeable in a lot of different areas that I've actually experienced as far as in my life, I can probably come to you and let you know some things, and my husband can too, just to kind of give some kind of encouragement, advice, whatever you may need.
Sorry if we look tired. We are kind of tired.
We are kind of tired because
I'm tired.
We have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, oh man.
And she does not like to take a nap. It's
no,
like
she don't.
Trying to force her to take a nap is
man, we love her though.
Stress.
I love her.
And like I said, I'm not feeling my best, because of everything. So like I said, I'm going to get off of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give me something to eat. Try to eat.
I want something to eat.
And I'm going to go sit down and watch TV and call it a day.
Peace.
And we love you guys.
Yes.
And please rate, comment, and subscribe.
And go check out my channel.
Also, go check out my husband's channel.
Check it out right here. You see that?
Miracles in Unity.
Yeah, check it out.
And also, too, I always end with this. If they serve you no purpose, if they're not bringing anything into your life, let them go. Let him go. Let her go. Let them go. Period.